This news program is proudly brought to you by
Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits
and Now Biscuits.
Role of media in upholding democracy vital. Search for prime suspect responsible for police officer's death. And PNG trade missions to be established in 8 countries. A very good evening. You're watching National EMTV News. I'm Grace Papiali. Thank you for joining us. The PNG Media Council President Neville Choi says PNG has come a long way in terms of press freedom. However, for PNG to have a credible and effective media council representing both the public interest and the interest of the private sector, it is important to never underestimate the role of the effective and trusted media in a developing democracy. He made these comments today upon commemorating the World Media Freedom Day.
World Media Freedom Day falls on the 3rd of May annually to celebrate the fundamental principles of press freedom, to evaluate press freedom around the world, to defend the media from attacks, and to pay tribute to journalists who lost their lives in the line of duty. The Media Council President says over the past 30 years, we have seen major development in both media pluralism, media technology, and their subsequent impacts on our audience. However, PNG media organizations are facing challenges when it comes to remaining relevant as well as keeping up with the fast development pace at the global level. The new media technology has not only changed the way we treat news, but they have created the culture of misinformation and disinformation, and rebuilding trust is the key to navigate all this. He also highlighted that the Media Council has no funding support.
Despite this, as volunteer executives, we have maintained as best as we can a committed mainstream media fraternity, which is increasingly accountable for the work they produce for public consumption. Our plans moving forward include preparing for an annual general meeting at which will be held fresh elections of executives and board members, and a review and reconstituting of the MCPNG Constitution. Restoring the Media Council's membership and processes to include new media organizations and media specialists. Ensuring that the Council's Independent Complaints Tribunal is active and working. Creating more accessible training pathways for all levels of media practitioners.
He encouraged all the media practitioners that the work they do daily is necessary not just for today, but for the future generations of this nation. Therefore, urged all to be diligent, proactive, and innovative in how they disseminate information and news. The team leader for ABC International Development, Hare Haro, spoke about the work of Media Development Initiative over the years in PNG, saying that the MDI program goal is to see more professional, free, and diverse PNG media that serve the public interest and supports democratic processes. She confirmed that MDI will contribute to these goals.
MDI will partner with media to be more professional, inclusive, digitally smart, and ready to sustain improved practices. MDI's media partners will produce more quality information and public dialogue, including through digital platforms on development issues that are relevant to PNG's diverse citizens.
Meanwhile, the University of Papua New Guinea journalism students organized 2 programs today to commemorate the World Media Day. First program of the day was the float parade, followed by the showcase program this evening. Estagane, National EMTV News.
Papua New Guinea, for the first time, will see trade missions being established in 8 countries around the world. The first one will be in Shanghai, China. It will be established under the National Trade Commission Service. The primary reason for the trade commissions is to look for export markets for PNG and to promote trade investment opportunities for the country. The announcement was made today by the Ministry of International Trade and Investment. A historic decision for the first time for Papua New Guinea by the Marape Rosso government, following a National Executive Council approval to establish trade missions for PNG in 8 countries. The first establishment would be in China, followed by Australia, Thailand, Indonesia, European Union in Brussels, United Arab Emirates in Dubai, Philippines and Singapore.
Service has a different focus. Its main focus is to have the Trade Commissioner and his staff look for export markets for Papua New Guinea's products and services. They are focused on trade. They are also going to look for foreign investors to come and invest in major economic projects in Papua New Guinea. The other focus is to be the focal points in various countries that Papua New Guinea will be undertaking studies and negotiations for free trade agreements with Papua New Guinea.
Minister Maru commended the government of the day for what he described as a timely decision.
So all in all, for me, this is a move in the right direction. It's a very exciting time for my ministry and our government, and I am very confident with the investment and support of the Prime Minister and the NEC in investing in establishing this new Trade Commission service. Papua New Guinea will be able to secure more and more large-scale investment projects, especially in the non-mining and petroleum space, that will help to transform our economy over the next 10 years. And our plan is to double it and make PNG financially independent by 2032. One day I don't want us to see us borrow anymore. We can't keep borrowing. I want to see jobs for our young people.
In terms of funding for the trade commissions, Maru said he is grateful that a number of state-owned enterprises have shown interest to fund it. However, he did not specify which ones. His Vice Minister Kessi Sawang has further commended the government and further explained the economic potentials this could bring into the country.
I want to commend our minister who has been working very hard to have this in place, and I believe with this approach we can actually market Papua New Guinea well outside with the establishment of the Trade Commission Service and our trade missions.
The Department of International Trade and Investment will be advertising very shortly for applicants to fill the positions of trade commissioners in the first 8 countries.
And we'll be starting to look for trade commissioners from around the world to man those offices that we've already announced.
Papua New Guinea will be hosting the first ever Special Economic Zone Summit on the 7th to the 9th of May 2023. The Ministry of International Trade and Investment will be hosting the event at the Stanley Hotel in Port Moresby.
And head of Trade, our Chief Trade Officer.
As part of the government's aim to make Papua New Guinea financially independent by 2032, the Ministry of International Trade and Investment believes that implementing special economic zones in all provinces in the country could set the par of potential economic revenue. International Trade and Investment Minister Richard Maru, since last year, had been calling on potential investors to visit Papua New Guinea to share ideas of trade and investment that economically transform their countries. The summit commencing this coming Sunday will see the establishment of good potential global trade partners imparting their knowledge and skills. Minister Maru will be giving detailed information about the summit tomorrow.
For me, the decision is very timely because on Sunday the Prime Minister will open the first SEZ summit of our country, and over the next few days from Sunday to Tuesday, we will have over 6 countries come and present about how they successfully developed special economic zones which have been the key drivers of economic growth and has transformed the economies from third world agrarian society, communities and countries to now many of them are upper middle class countries which have transformed from suppliers of raw materials to major industrial countries. Examples are China, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Bangladesh. They will all be here to present at the summit.
EMTV News will keep you updated on this story. The autonomous Bougainville government has set out some important steps and opportunities its government has taken to attract foreign investment and trade and to drive responsible business partners with the international business communities. This was revealed by Patrick Nisira, Vice President and Minister for Commerce, Trade and Industry and Economic Development in the autonomous Bougainville government.
The autonomous Bougainville government is placing emphasis on downstream processing of commodities such as cocoa, copra, fisheries and mineral resources in the region. According to a media statement by Vice President Patrick Nisira, the autonomous Bougainville government believes this will enhance the capacity to redirect the government's focus towards promoting import substitution, hence welcoming foreign investors and stakeholders to partner with the ABG. Vice President Patrick Nisira elaborates on the special economic zones.
Special economic zones is one of the potential industrial development concepts that will encourage duty-free and tax-free zones for goods and services in selected sites in Bougainville, including the development of financial hubs to make Bougainville attractive for investment. We ask the Papua New Guinea government to support us in this endeavor.
Mr. Nisira further said the ABG is hoping the national government will recognize and include one of the SEZ from Bougainville in the national SEZ list. He added that this special recognition, if given by the PNG government, will be greatly appreciated as it will help facilitate Arabs' trade and investment interest.
I am cognizant of the foreign affairs power which remains under the sovereign powers of PNG. We will appreciate this special recognition from the PNG government to facilitate our trade and investment interests for the economic reasons enshrined in the peace agreement.
Nisira further explained that as a government, they are talking to international counterparts to set up trade and investment offices overseas and has extended an invitation to foreign countries to consider Bougainville as a trade and investment destination. Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
The prime suspect involved in the killing of late Senior Sergeant Ludwig Dondo is still at large, and police will be frequenting the ATS Faria community until the suspect is caught and handed over. Assistant Commissioner and NCD Central Divisional Commander Anthony Wagambi Jr. confirmed that 3 suspects have been apprehended by community leaders and handed over to the police yesterday morning. However, the main suspect is still at large.
In a media conference yesterday, Divisional Commander for NCD and Central Anthony Wagambi Jr. and the city's Metropolitan Superintendent Silva Sika jointly said police will not rest until the prime suspect is apprehended.
CID have taken over. They are conducting investigations into it. And we will not rest until we get, there's one suspect outstanding now, the main perpetrator.
Metsubsika added that an ultimatum was issued to the ATS Farea community to hand the suspect over for the law to take its course.
Police will not rest until we apprehend the suspect, the prime suspect. So that is why we give that warning and reminder to that particular community people that is known.
Meantime, MTV News visited the ATS Farea community today and there were mixed reactions amongst the people there. This is Tiven Aya, the chairman of the 6 ethnic groups that make up the Farea community at ATS. Being a resident for over 15 years now, he says the attack by police on their properties is somewhat disturbing and something they were not aware of.
Monday, afternoon, midday, I come up when everyone is at work and only mama, papa, na all many picking stuff. Me play no sabelo ha cost floor that's the problem. Only 1 or 2 make him that's the problem. And police come in. Now distraction and come up with.
Another long-time resident of the community and a student of UPNG said they were all away at work and school when the attack occurred.
Most of us, we no stop the community. We go walk, school, market. We no stop. Na police come inside. Plan the properties. Police come inside. Na gym.
According to reports from the community, it is alleged that all their properties were damaged and all their belongings, including cash, taken from them by the police officers during the attack raid on Monday and Tuesday, respectively. According to them, they all have assisted police by cooperating with NCD Metsub's order and have jointly surrendered 3 suspects yesterday morning. As much as they want to cooperate with the police, they say they are still living in fear of police presence. They are now in search of the prime suspect who has fled the community and is in hiding, believed to be along the Koyari ranges. By midday today, a community leader from Marawaka was brutally attacked out of frustration by some members of the community. Tension is still high amongst the Farea community as mothers and children are on the alert as the men continue the search as per police order for the main suspect. Lindy Suharupa, National MTV News.
Meantime, women at Farea ATS block have expressed grave concerns on the way police have handled the situation and approached the community after the tragic incident involving the death of Senior Sergeant Dondo.
Jessica Kafinte, a long-time resident in that community, emotionally explained that they watched as their houses were torched to ashes. She alleged that their homes were broken into and all their market items taken by the police officers.
One plamanta solem kosim this plus something. Mi pla this la cafe community kamanta gosen no lufa mi pla ino sabe lo one plus something. All this all police only come. Only no come some police here. All come some still man inside lo yeah. All come want the one pla white pla 10 seater we ino ka flat number and tablo this black car. Now all police here 4 pla police inside lo this la white door here. This la 10 seater all come here. All man blo mi pla finish work some pla stop out to say they got mobile phone. Mi pla contact us him. He got heavy inside na house all get and finish na. Stoya all no rouse him. All bail, all rouse him. Even tin fish and tap self to rouse him. Even good la trashes to rouse him na. A single bam to policeman want them uniform rouse him.
Jessica further alleged that gunshots were fired continuously as they fled into the bushes. The women of the ATS Farea community are now appealing to the police to cease using excessive force and weapons and to cooperate with the community leaders in finding the prime suspect involved in the killing of late police officer Senior Sergeant Ludwig Dondo. Furthermore, the father of the prime suspect has surrendered to police together with 3 other suspects apprehended by the community themselves and handed over to police yesterday. The main suspect, however, is still at large as the community continue the search as per the Metropolitan Superintendent's order.
Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. The Independent Consumer and Competition Commission is calling on a number of business houses that have breached Price Control Number 11 of 2022 to promptly settle their fines or they will be dealt with by the law.
To inform our general consumers.
According to Commissioner Hine, the price control order was issued in May of 2022 by the Pandemic Controller under the National Pandemic Act 2020, which required the ICCC to implement and enforce price controls on declared goods and services across the country over a 90-day period from 9th May to 7th August 2022. And as required under the price control order, wholesalers and retailers were prevented from increasing the prices of declared goods and services in excess of 10% without the ICCC's prior approval.
We've seen the likely increase in inflation. So because under the Price Control Act, we were not able to address or contain the inflationary effect that will have on the people, including price gouging at that time. So we went back to the controller, and the government has given us a order, number 11, under the price order. So we went out to all the districts, provinces. We've covered everywhere, provinces, all the towns. We tried to ask the business community not to increase the prices of the goods especially.
While many business houses have settled their fines, others have successfully appealed to the ICCC to have their fines withdrawn, whereas few others' infringements were settled administratively. Commissioner Hines said the ICCC issued a total of 326 infringement notices during the exercise. However, 204 infringing business houses are yet to settle their fines.
We are doing with this exercise is to stop business houses from price gouging, taking advantage of inflation that is currently experienced by our economy, and globally they are experiencing inflation. So that exercise has been ongoing for the last 6 to 7 months.
The ICCC has sent out various reminder notices to the concerned business houses to settle their outstanding fines. Related public notices have also been published in the daily newspapers and social media calling on them to settle their fines. Mr. Hine cautioned those who are reluctant to settle their fines or lodged an appeal to the ICCC will be severely dealt with. Commissioner Hine went on to commend those that have acted in good faith by settling their fines and have averted prosecution. He is urging the 204 non-compliant business houses concerned to settle their fines promptly. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
The reclassification by PNG Customs Services on the dutiable import tariff code on soap noodle on the 26th of October in 2022 has caused domestic prices of all soap products to increase significantly in the last 6 months. The ICCC recommends that the government should reconsider its decision on the reclassification to ensure soap products remain affordable for all the citizens in the country.
ICCC Commissioner Paliasine said the ICCC is gravely concerned on the adverse impact of the spike in soap prices in recent times, highlighting that as a developing country with a lot of hygiene issues, it is important that soap remains affordable in the country for every citizen.
That most of our rural and communities and everyone else these days, they rely mostly on wash soap and cleaner soap. And we are very concerned that if the prices are going up, then the affordability will be a problem to many. Then when they do not have a soap to have shower in the morning or do their laundry or something like this. This will affect the overall health of our people. So whilst it is their prerogative to make any changes to any customs duties and stamps and all this, we are concerned coming from the consumer's perspective that these changes will largely affect our consumers. So
Ain said the ICCC is also aware that manufacturers were advised by PNG Customs to pay the reclassified import tariff. The ICCC has noted significant increase in the retail prices of soap products over the last 6 months. The increase are between 12% to 36%.
Colleagues at Customs reclassified this soap noodle as attracted a duty of 20%. And before that, they were classified as not to be applying an duty, stamp duties on by customs. So this recent changes by our good friends at Customs has seen the price of soap has gone up. And this has largely affected our consumers. So the ICCC is very concerned.
Mr. Ain reiterated that incentives such as reduced or zero-rated duty should be considered to encourage local manufacturing in order to reduce soap prices in the country. He further stated that the government must consider other social priorities such as employment security and should reconsider its decision about the import tariff on soap noodles.
It is very useful that the government to reconsider and our customs colleagues to reconsider so that we give back the consumers the soap that they normally enjoy at a lower price. So this is our appeal to the government and our colleagues at customs.
This is a disincentive for local soap production in light of the already high cost of doing business in the country, which has further elevated the increase in domestic prices of all soap products. Mr. Ain said the ICCC has raised this issue with the Department of Treasury and is looking forward to a positive outcome. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
More than 1,000 students attending the St. Michael Primary School at the Hanuabada village in the nation's capital lack proper classrooms. The current buildings are deteriorating and need urgent maintenance work for students to learn in a conducive environment. Today, the school celebrated the opening of a new classroom for their school.
Led by grade 8 students, all dressed in their traditional attires, showcasing their Motuan culture, welcomed the invited guests to the official opening of a new classroom. Speaking at the opening ceremony, head teacher Mrs. Janet Inee revealed that grade 3 students in the last 2 years in 2021 and 2022 have been attending classes using a makeshift shelter. The new classroom was made possible through a good working relationship with the school board members and the parish.
It is our initiative, and we made a difference in our children's education here at St. Michael's Primary School.
Father Justin Nenat, who did the dedicatory prayer and opened the classroom, says the Catholic Church is committed to providing education services to educate the children for a better future.
It's the gateway to the mental and moral development of the students. The school is not just a place to gain knowledge.
This double classroom building will cater for more than 100 grade 3 students. According to teaching staff members, this facility is the first ever building being opened since the establishment of this primary school in early 1926. The St. Michael's Primary School is still in need of more learning facilities. According to the Catholic Education Secretary Paula Bomai, they cannot take the whole responsibility and need support from their political leaders and the community to help improve the facilities in the school.
Where is NCD, Governor? Where is NCD leaders who are responsible to provide?
The building cost more than 100,000 kina, sourced from the school's own finances. The teachers expressed that learning facilities such as classrooms and ablution blocks for the elementary division, prep to E2, lower primary grades 3 to 5 and upper primary 6 to 8 need to be improved to cater for students.
Despite these ongoing challenges, teachers are doing their best to ensure students are educated. Jim John, National EMTV News.
All classrooms at the St. Michael Primary School in Hanuabada village in the nation's capital are run down and need urgent maintenance work. Students and teachers say the learning environment is not conducive.
Speaking at the opening of their new double classroom today, the board chairman of the school, Ted Mayer, says lack of teachers' houses and classrooms have been an ongoing issue and wants support from the leaders and the surrounding communities at the Hanuabada village.
It actually helps us or drive us to move forward in getting these important structures in our school developed or fixed, so that our students can continue their education here in St. Michael's.
He added that this primary school run by the Catholic Education Agency has been supporting the school and there has been no support from their leaders. Catholic Education Secretary Paula Bomay says support is urgently needed as the school cannot operate with the deteriorated infrastructures they have.
As the head teacher said, we have about 1,100 students. The 1,100 students that we have are actually sitting in a place where that is not, or the environment is not viable for them or suitable for them to learn.
She explains that children have the right to quality education.
NCDC, you are also accountable, you are also responsible to the lives of these little children who are here around me listening and watching. You are responsible to them. Where is the resource you are managing to put it into their needs?
The school has been in operation for years without proper facilities, and it is high time the responsible authorities look into this matter. Jim John, National EMTV News.
Taking a look at the Nest Fund market report, the kina closed unchanged at $0.2840 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.2765 $0.4119 Australian dollars, $0.2435 euro, 37.32 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee closed higher, cocoa closed lower, copper closed higher, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading lower, copper closed higher. On the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading lower, the All Ordinaries is trading lower. National EMTV News continues after the break with more stories. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. A memorandum of understanding was signed today between YWAM Medical Ship, the NCD City Authority and the health and education sector within the city to collaboratively provide dental health care services to students in the nation's capital. The signing took place at the City Hall in Port Moresby today.
The four ways MOU signed today outlined the mutual desire to work collaboratively to provide dental health care services to students through the YWAM MS School Dental Trailer Program. During the signing, Director of Public Health from NCD-PHA, Dr. Amos Lano, elaborated on the benefit and importance of such initiative, outlining some of the issues that will be addressed through such program that surrounds the dental health space.
Actually provide the service. When you go to Pomgen, you will see that the dental services far and at the medical, where the medical faculty is, that place is really crowded every now and then, and they only see about 15 patients every day. And you look at the demand there. So it is a concern for healthcare providers in the city to basically, expand the service so that we equally save our people. Oral health is one of the very important components of healthcare service provisions that we are actually embarking on, especially in terms of public health as well as security health services, because it leads to so many people. We have to really start at the education level, at the schools level, so that we roll out this program. So when the kids are learning, they basically learn how to actually look after themselves in terms of cleaning their health, in the mouth, or looking after themselves in terms of everything, so that when they grow up, this problem doesn't affect them in the long run. And that contributes to, a better education for our children. So I'm happy that our team is here. We have been struggling to get the team together, so it's an opportunity now that all of us are here.
Campus Director of YWAM, MS Matt Scott, said the forged partnership are great and highlighted that the program will focus on giving dental care and education to students from selected schools in the city.
When we go into these schools, and look forward to working with the different partners to see that happen well. So thank you for the opportunity. We look forward to working together, and I think there's a bright future in the oral healthcare space working together in partnerships like this. So.
NCD City Manager Ravu Frank said this program will be providing a very vital service to the children in NCD, thus such partnership signifies their commitment to the good health of city's residents, and made a funding commitment of 300,000 kina to the program to maintain the rollout to all schools in the city.
The event culminates the successful discussion over the past 2 years between our NCD Governor, Honorable Paus Pakop, and YWAM to make this program a reality in our city. NCDC's partnership with YWAM has been very significant, and indeed through Governor Pakop's initiative, the YWAM training facility at Gabutu was acquired, improved, and fully established. This once again demonstrates the commitment of our Governor and NCDC to improving the health of our people, and what better way to target the program at than to start it off in the schools where our children are, and obviously the ambition for a healthy young generation.
The launching of the YWAM Dental Trailer program will officially be launched here at the Koki Primary School on Monday, and then be rolled out to other schools in the nation's capital. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
Persons with disability will now have a new clinic set up at the Cheshire Disability Services in Port Moresby. Maristops PNG, in partnership with Cheshire Disability Services PNG, officially opened a new physiotherapy clinic yesterday. The launch comes after the official signing of a Memorandum of Understanding last year between Cheshire Disability Services PNG and Maristops PNG.
Maristops PNG strives to be inclusive in all its services, and the new physiotherapy clinic is an achievement from the partnership between Maristops PNG and Cheshire Disability Services. Access to quality family planning and sexual reproductive health is an universal right, and the clinic will provide ease of access to show quality family planning and sexual reproductive health services directly from the Cheshire Disability Services.
This is how we usually set up. This is the procedure bed.
General Manager of Cheshire Disability Services, Benson Hahambu, said it is difficult for persons with disabilities to go out and access such services. So this clinic will make the lives of the PWDs easier.
You know, it is very hard to go and look out for this kind of services, especially for persons with disabilities, their caregivers. Now that we have these services right here, it makes it easier for them to open up, ask questions, find out what is best for them. And that is where the whole purpose of the partnership came out from, and now we are here to launch the.
Maristop's PNG Country Director, Angeline Famundi, added that they are committed to improving the lives of women and men with disabilities by enabling them to make good decisions when it comes to sexual reproductive health and family planning.
I think as we know in PNG, you may know got plenty avenues for in regards to disability. To help our people that live with disability, and I think part of that is what we've done here in partnership with Cheshire Home.
On behalf of the PWDs, a representative thanked Maristops for this important service and stressed that PWDs should be treated equally and given equal opportunities to services in the country.
Someone with disability must have equal life with a normal life. We should be same life to be equal. Disability also can get married, live same life with disability in the normal life.
Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break with Trukai Sports. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. President for Desert Storm Kickboxing Club spoke to MTV's Trukai Sports regarding their preparations this year for a bout in July.
Now, after hosting their first tournament for 2023 in March of this year, the Samson Anam Kickboxing Club, now known as the Desert Storm Kickboxing Club, has about 15 to 30 fighters currently here at the Sejongai Stadium training in preparation for their upcoming event in July. Now, I spoke to Nelson Samson, the president himself, to tell us about the event and where the fighters will be coming from around the country.
Desert Storm Promotion hosted under the banner of Desert Storm and partnership with PNG Kickboxing Federation. We have hosted the first kickboxing show down on March 31st. That's also this year. Under Desert Storm Promotion, we have a calendar that under the club that we're planning to host 3 kickboxing events this year. The second one will be on July 1st. That's in Sportsing, and the third one will be on October. As you can see, I have fighters, students from different ethics in provinces here training under Desert Storm Promotion, who are getting ready to take part on a July event under Desert Storm Promotion that will gonna happen this year.
Now, the Desert Storm Kickboxing Club is also now sending out an open invitation to interested fighters or clubs around the country who wish to participate in their upcoming tournament in July this year.
First event that I hosted was a Southern Region Championship. It's Southern Region Championship is Mosby, and then we also included some other provinces that came in to take part, especially Morobe and Southern Islands. But this year, it's an open invitation to all the provinces around the country, Papua New Guinea. If you are really interested to take part in kickboxing, then we have an event that is coming up. Under PNG Kickboxing calendar is different from Desert Storm Promotion calendar. Desert Storm Promotion calendar, we have 3 kickboxing shows that we are looking forward to host this year. So we are opening an invitation to everyone who is interested to take part in a show.
Now, as you can see, these fighters right behind me as of May this year have been training very hard here at the Sejongai Stadium under the watchful eyes of their coach Stanley Nandex, as well as the club president Nelson Samson. Now, they are hoping that come July this year, the fighters will give their best. Godwin Eki, Trukai Sports.
PNG international kickboxer Nelson Samson started his preparation for an international bout in June in Sydney, Australia.
Now, PNG International rep Nelson Samson, who's represented PNG on the international stage when it comes to kickboxing over the last 5 years, has been traveling back and forth to Sydney, Australia and Papua New Guinea to represent PNG. Right now, as you can see, Nelson Samson, who's right behind me, is preparing for his upcoming international bout in June this year, where he will represent PNG once again. He's currently training here at the Sejong Stadium, also with his boxers who are also preparing for a tournament in July.
Right now I'm looking forward for my June fight because the promoters in Australia, they know my fights, they know my styles. So they always send me invitation to take part in a kickboxing show in Sydney. So under the Stip's promotion, I have a fight on 23rd June. That's on June 2023. And also while preparing for my training, I have a exhibition fight that is coming up on 4th of June. That's here in Sydney. Port Moresby in a sporting club. So you can come by. While doing my training, I'm also training. I have some senior fighters, senior boys. They are training with me. Yes, I'm doing good and doing well with my training here with the boys here.
Now, PNG International Nelson Samson, who goes by the stage name as Desert Storm, started his training or preparations earlier this year. Now, his tournament for the international bout will take place in June 2023. As you can see, Nelson has been training very hard. He's here at the Sejong Stadium again, training in preparation for his upcoming international bout before he travels to Australia. Godwin Eki, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The PNG junior tennis team made up of 12 players and 2 coaches are currently in Vanuatu taking part in the West Pacific Regional Championships. So far, they are seeing successful results for the 12 junior tennis players.
The PNG junior tennis team departed last week to take part in the West Pacific Regional Championships in Port Vila, Vanuatu. Results from the first 2 days of competition had shown to be successful in all age groups. 9 players have booked their spot in the knockout playoffs, with 2 yet to complete their pool matches. The doubles were played today, and the PNG Tennis Association is optimistic the team will play to the best of their abilities and are expecting more positive results. The West Pacific Regional Championships will have its finals being played this Saturday, the 6th of May. Nations competing include Fiji, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, Kiribati, and PNG. The PNG junior tennis team expressed gratitude to their major sponsors, Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited, CPL and NCDC, for their support in making it possible for them to be part of this competition. Florence John Duo, Trukai Sports.
The National Rugby League competition is set to play its round 4 matches this coming weekend in various parts of the country.
Now, since the start of the National Rugby League competition in the country to kickstart its 2023 season, the 12 participating teams have been vying for a top spot since the beginning or since the kickoff of the tournament. Now, last weekend witnessed round 3 of the National Rugby League competition played in various parts of the country. Now, the new contenders to this year's Rugby League competition, or the debutants in the competition, the Sepik Pride, have been very unsuccessful, but are hoping that throughout the tournament they will somehow come to the top of the ladder. Now, this coming weekend will witness round 4 of the competition, where all 12 participating teams are hoping to at least further their ladder points. Godwin Eki, Trukai Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The Money Plus weather report is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region: Port Moresby City and Kerema, cloudy periods with few showers and possible thunderstorms. Daru, cloudy with rain showers and thunderstorms. Alatau and Popondetta, cloudy with some showers and thunderstorms.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Wednesday, the 3rd of May, 2023. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.